If you're a project manager who's working on a product, or maybe you're a product manager who's working with a project team to realize your ambitions. If you're either one of those things or one of the stakeholders of these groups, then this video is for you. Let me show you how project management meets up with new product development in order to create a holistic value creation for the organization. Coming up next on Project Skills Mentor, product versus project management, how they align, where to look for potential conflicts, and what you can do to improve your work outcome, whether you're the product or the project manager. So there's a few things managers need to know. One is how the roles differ and what they have in common. Which methodologies are the right ones to use to foster that alignment, and how to optimize both work streams for success. Well, the first question on the table is, what do project managers do that's different than what product managers do? Product manager is all about focusing on the product value, defining the vision, aligning with the team to get that value realized, managing the entire product lifecycle. They need to create a product roadmap so that as new releases come on board, they can be released. And before products go to market, they need to deal with marketing, operations, any regulatory and legal issues. And strategically, their job is to ask, what problem am I solving and how is this product going to be that solution? The project manager really focuses on the execution and delivery of the project scope. That may be a deliverable beyond the actual product. They may need to put in technology infrastructure, business processes and policies, and more to make sure the product can be built in the company, can be sustained, and can be updated as the product manager moves the product through its life cycle. So the project manager is coordinating with the teams, making sure deliverables are being met, keeping on time, on budget, and with the right quality. But both of these managers need to manage their stakeholders, their communication plan, and ultimately the solution they're working on. And why does this alignment matter? Value creation for the business means they need the right product at the right price at the right time, and the project is meant to deliver that, given the guidelines provided by the product manager. Of course, they need to have market relevance. So if your project thinks, hey, we can cut some corners, we can do things differently, and it's not relevant to the marketplace, you've just derailed not just your project, but the entire product line potentially. And then finally, you also need to align resources. Often resources are shared, marketing and operations and engineering and others. You'll need to talk to those folks when producing the product potentially as part of your product line management, but you'll also need to talk to those same folks for project management to make sure any of their requirements, specifications, documentation, anything the project would release is included in the scope of your work. And if you're a beginner to this rodeo, then you'll want to do a couple of key things. One is be curious. When you don't know, ask. Talk to people, create a network of people so that you can reach out and check in. Are you doing it right? Are you doing the right thing right? And are you focused on the prize? What is the end state? And are you meeting that requirement of both quality, time, and again, the cost? And if you want to go further, be willing to learn beyond the project scope. The more managers understand the market their business is in and how the marketplace for that product works, they'll be better able to continuously align and refine their discussions with the product manager. And if you want to know more about my tips, I'll give you a link below to my blog. You can check out everything I've written in detail. Next are the key steps to facilitate the process of managing the project and product connection. So first, having clear objectives, understanding what the product manager needs and how that directly aligns to your project milestones, but also outputs and deliverables. You both have key stakeholders, aligning continuously with stakeholders to make sure the outcome of the project and the ultimate product are consistent with stakeholder expectations and need. And part of that is indeed setting expectations. You also need to set realistic timelines. Product people, they want it done yesterday, but doing it right costs time. So how do you make sure that you're both in alignment, that expectations are set? If a project manager thinks, hey, that's a December release date for some kind of, year-end event, it might be that you actually need to be live by August in order to hit that December date. You need to understand the actual timelines you need to be following. And then you need to streamline communications. Miscommunications can cause roadblocks. Roadblocks can stall or even kill your project and your product. So keeping a streamlined communication process where information flows freely, where escalations happen quickly, and communications about that resolution happening efficiently. You'll need to track these between the two types of managers and their respective teams to keep everyone in alignment. And you need to be adaptable. Sometimes products aren't just a new release, they're actually new product development. The end game may not be crystal clear. Now, when that's happening, your marketing and product manager may be getting input from actual customers. If that's true, the project team needs to be reactive to what they say. Be clear about where you're getting your feedback and how adaptable and reactive you have to be to changes in the marketplace. It does no good if you have a one-year project and the market has completely changed and you're delivering that same old product. It'll be a loss for the company and for your project team. And here's some tips that'll help you smooth the process. Collaborate with the marketing team. As already discussed, this is critical to making sure you're building a product they can sell. Test it thoroughly. From requirements to product to test, you need to be managing expectations along the way and ensuring you're doing the most robust testing you possibly can given your timelines and the market expectations. And then don't forget, you not only need to train your team, you need to train internal people. Because if you're releasing a product that is actually part of a new product development, not everyone's going to understand the features, the functions, and the way of working, how you use that tool. So you're going to need to create marketing for internal and training for internal to make sure people understand the value proposition of the widget you're creating. The next goal for product and project managers is to align methodologies. The methodologies for both of these won't be exactly the same, but there are alignment points. Let me show you this card. It might look scary, but actually, if I break it down for you, I think you'll find the value in it. So at the bottom of the slide, we see how new products are developed. This is an example of a tech product. So they're going from idea generation to assessment of the marketplace to make sure there's an economic value, and then getting into use cases. Then you can actually get into the project planning, scope, defining, and building a prototype. In the most simplified form of things, you're ready for the handover, and then getting final approval and sign off, final go-to-market, and your release strategy. Now, aligning to that is the project team's work. If they're using an Agile methodology, they're going to go from brainstorm to design to develop to quality assurance, deployment, and then this acceptance loop where if it's accepted, they go forward to deliver. Now at the top here, you're going to find 3 types of color-coded points. So alignment means you have this point of alignment. Conflict is obvious. Oftentimes you're butting heads. You have different objectives, different timetables, or something else. And then key points are, don't forget to do these steps. For this example, I just gave you some of the highlights. Now I have a whole card, which I'll show you here, which breaks all of that down in more detail. Now you want to create a model like this for your own project. I suggest you use this as an example. But once you fine tune with the product manager what their method is, what your method is, and then what these alignment points are, where you might conflict and what key points you need to make sure you're checking in on, you'll have a roadmap to follow. And this high-level roadmap should also be shared with the stakeholders from both groups so they understand how this connection is going to happen. It's engineered, it's not accidental. And tips for smooth alignment between product and project managers: use visual tools like the ones I've showed you today. Regularly review together. It's not enough to send emails and other kinds of communications. You need to talk, you need to meet, and you need to make sure information is cascaded down to your team and also cascaded up to stakeholders. And on that point, finally, engage your stakeholders, set expectations, and also understand their needs, because you're not going to get the green light to either close out your project or release that product unless your stakeholders are aligned. And if you want to know more about creating an Agile project, creating a Waterfall project, or which tools can help you do just that, check out these videos. And I'll see you next time on ProjectSkillsMentor.com. Bye-bye, everybody.